Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing part 1 of Snakedance. And my initial thought on it is, the best way I can sum it up is, Okay, let me start off with what I did really like. I liked the cliffhanger a lot. One of the best things about Kinda to me was when Tegan is possessed by the Mara, because I think Janet Fielding just plays that really well. I like possessed Tegan with the Mara in control. I think she did a really good job at that. And it wasn't until I rewatched Kinda recently when I realized just how short of an amount of time that actually happens in Kinda. She's not really possessed by the Mara for very long. So it's nice to see that right here at the end of Snakedance when the Mara takes control and she's doing that kind of wicked laugh she does. I like that. The way she's kind of toying with the fake psychic like it's her plaything is really nice. And then the crystal ball having the skull of the snake's head with its mouth opening, and then the crystal ball just shattering as the camera zooms in. That's a really good cliffhanger. I have got to give props right there. That's a really impressive cliffhanger, and I really liked it. I also did like at the very beginning the short dream sequence Tegan has when she's in like the mouth of the cave with the snake mouth. That was a pretty nice little dream sequence. It's nice and short. I like that. Other than that, it didn't really impress me that much. Maybe part of it's me. One thing I have found is that when you're switching eras of Doctor Who, especially when you're switching decades of Doctor Who, at least for me personally, sometimes it takes a minute to kind of switch gears mentally from one to the other. It kind of takes an episode to get acclimated with what you're trying to watch. And for me, I've really been in a 70s mental place lately with not only watching Invisible Enemy recently, but also being excited about the Season 9 box set coming, because I am actually recording this on March 20th, which is the day the Season 9 box set releases. I just gotta wait like a week and a half for it to cross the pond to get here. But I am very much in the mindset of looking forward to it coming in, being able to watch the Mutants and the Time Monster for the first time. So I'm very much mentally in a place of 70s Doctor Who, and so I'm having to kind of mentally shift gears to 80s Doctor Who, which is different. I really find it a problem when I'm going from like 60s Doctor Who to 80s Doctor Who, or 80s Doctor Who to 60s Doctor Who. It really takes me a minute to shift gears from one to the other. And so I wasn't quite in the headspace for Davison Doctor Who. The incidental music is not really impressing me for this story, and again, maybe it's just because I'm not really in that kind of sound that they use for 80s Doctor Who, especially in the Davison era. So the music's not really doing much for me. And again, it's also a sequel to Kinda. I don't really like Kinda. The first 2 episodes of Kinda are outright terrible and practically unwatchable. The second 2 episodes of Kinda are better. They are watchable, and I realized that on my last watch through. I still think Kinda's really bad, but the first 2 episodes are atrocious, whereas the episodes 3 and 4 are a lot better and do have redeeming qualities about them. But I don't like Kinda, so it's very prevalent in my mind that this is a sequel to Kinda, and so automatically that's kind of a strike against it. So that might be hurting my opinion of it. I do like Davison in this. I think his acting is really good here. He is in that kind of mental place where he's a little cross with his companions. He seems a little annoyed, like he does sometimes. He really does come across as like a younger version of the first Doctor sometimes. But I like his performance. The way he's performing the part is really good here. I like the fact that he seems pretty on the ball. He puts together kind of what is going on and is trying to come up with solutions for it pretty quickly. He catches on that the Mara is involved very quickly when he realizes the planet they're at, the empires and kingdoms that used to rule there, And when he realizes Tegan's the one who called out the coordinates, you know, everything starts gelling together in his head really quick that the Mara might be involved and Tegan may be in danger. And he starts taking steps to help her to find out what's going on and to find a way to fix it. I like that. I like how on the ball he is this early on in the story. If he doesn't quite feel in control of the situation, but he doesn't feel 37 steps behind in the situation like another certain blonde doctor tends to do. So I do like that here. Now he does make the mistake of losing Tegan. And I remember when Tegan got separated, I was like, really? Y'all lost Tegan? Come on. Janet's doing a pretty good job. She doesn't have a lot to do. I mean, a lot of times she's kind of in a daze or dreaming, or right at the end when she switches to Mars. She doesn't have a lot to do. She's fine. Sarah Sutton this is just kind of there in the story. Sarah's fine, but she doesn't really have a lot to do here. And to be honest, the one thing she had to do, keeping up with Tegan, she kind of sucked at and Tegan got away. So not really getting a lot to do here. The guest cast has not really impressed me. I do think the one guy, the younger guy, who's I guess like the son of some important figure apparently, I'm assuming he's a well-known British actor for some reason. He looks familiar, but I can't place from where. I feel like I've seen him in something. I get the impression for some reason instinctively that he's pretty well known as a British actor. I don't know who he is or what I know him from though. And he's okay. I don't think he's like great or anything, but he's okay. He's interesting. But the rest of the guest cast really haven't blown me away. They just kind of seem like they're there. They're reading their lines. They're getting their check. So the guest cast is kind of thus far. So the story hasn't really blown me away. The sets aren't really impressing me. The kind of marketplace area looked fine, but other than that, the sets haven't really blown me away. So again, to sum up my main thoughts on the story so far, with the fact that I like the ending. I do think the cliffhanger is really, really good. And that pretty much covers up my thoughts on part 1 of Kenda, really. It hasn't really impressed me. It's just, okay, that's part 1 of Kenda. Really, or not Kenda, Snakedance, excuse me. Again, like I said, the fact that this is a sequel to Kenda, I can't get out of my head. Part 1 of Snakedance. Good cliffhanger. So I'd like to know what you think of part 1 of Snakedance. So comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. I certainly appreciate that. I am trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers in 2023. So I certainly appreciate any help with that. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. A link to my Patreon is in the description below. That does help me keep the bills paid, especially since I missed work a little bit last week due to the sinus crud I had. So I certainly appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Finn Perkins, and Stephen Crane. I appreciate their continued support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. A link to that is down in the description. I want to give a shout out to Simon, who did send this to me. He also sent The Invisible Enemy, so it's very nice to have seen Invisible Enemy, which I watched and reviewed recently. And I am excited to be watching Snakedance for the first time. I truly am, I promise. And I really appreciate Simon sending both of those. So thank you for that, Simon. I also have a P.O. box. My P.O. box is down in the description if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. And a link to my Amazon wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.